What's up, YouTube? Thanks for tuning in to another Bald Mike Does Golf video. As you can see by today's title, what is the state of the PGA Tour? Will it survive? The reason why I put that in there, because I'm just kind of curious. Every time I tune in to watch golf these days, it's kind of like lackluster. There are people up there that, you haven't heard of, which is good. And it's always nice seeing new young talent come up, get their first wins and stuff like that, compete in their tournaments. But the PGA Tour needs some needle movers. And right now, they don't really have any. And what I mean by the PGA Tour, I mean American golfers that can move the needle. And there are only, in my opinion, since Phil has now went to LIV, Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, Bryson, all those guys are with LIV, they were attention getters. Dustin Johnson, when he would get on fire, he was so dominant that nobody could beat him when his game was on, especially his driver. Oh my God, just bombs after bombs. Bryson, changing club head speed and ball speeds like that to just dominate. People love seeing someone hit a 350-yard drive. Nobody wants to see someone poof one out there at 270 and wedge it around. Nobody cares. They want to see the big bombs. So my point exactly is, will it survive? I'm sure it will. Obviously, it's the PGA Tour. They got bazillions of dollars. But what if the PGA Tour would have increased the purses last year before LIV even became a thing? This week's Waste Management tournament went from like $8 or $9 million purse last year to like 20 or 25 million. Could you imagine? 3.6 to the winner. That's insane. And now they've got, if you miss the cut, you get paid. If you play in so many tournaments, you get paid. Certain exempt stuff, I don't know the whole ins and outs of it, but my goodness, if they would have done this last year, LIV would have probably never taken off. And Phil Mickelson would still be here, which he's a needle mover. And Dustin, Brooks, Bryson, Louis, all those guys would have still been here playing golf on the regular tour. And for me, golf needs Tiger. Tiger Woods, if they would just say, oh, Tiger's going to do an interview during today's round, whether he would or not, he would get so much attention. People would tune into that just to say that they heard Tiger talk about something, no matter what it is. So if Tiger tuned in and was at the tournament and just made his presence known, the ratings probably would increase 15 to 25% just from him being on the grounds of the event. Tiger has moved the needle in golf like no one else ever has or probably ever will. The next person that really needs to step up is Jordan Spieth. Jordan is a needle mover. There are three people. Tiger's one. Jordan's the second one. We need these American golfers to keep people like myself entertained on Sundays. Tiger Woods, if he's in the tournament on a Sunday, people are skipping church. I'm sorry that Justin Rose, if he's in there on a Sunday, no one's probably skipping church to watch Rosie finish a golf tournament. I'm sorry. It's not happening. Just like Jon Rahm. Nobody's going to skip that. Jon Rahm, one heck of a great golfer. He has really started dominating this year so far. But to me, not really a needle mover. That's why Jordan Spieth needs to get it together and start winning, not competing, but winning the tournament. Jordan Spieth draws so much attention, it's unbelievable. If he can get it together and win 3 or 4 times this year, the PGA Tour will be right back on pace. If he can't do it, another person that needs to get it together is Rickie Fowler. Yes, that's correct. Rickie Fowler. Rickie Fowler moves the needle. He is like the John Daly of the 2020s, like John Daly was back in the late 90s and early 2000s. John Daly brought a crowd. He only won five 5 times or something like that. I think that's what Rickie has, 5 or 6 or 7 wins or something like that. If Rickie, look at all the kids that wear his clothing, for crying out loud. You don't see any kid out there wearing stuff that resembles Jon Rahm, maybe a little bit of Rory, but we need an American golfer to get back on top of the world and dominate. As much as I love Scotty Scheffler, Zonder, Patrick Cantlay, those guys don't move the needle. They just don't. They don't attract ratings. Ratings are Rickie Fowler. If you put Rickie Fowler and Jordan Spieth in the final group of the Masters, holy crap. And those two went at it for 18 holes on a Sunday. That stuff would be legendary. And if those two for the next 5 to 7 years could just dominate, those two, because Tiger, you just never know about his health. If those two could just dominate, if Rickie could somehow in the next 5 to 7 years get 10 to 15 wins and 2 or 3 majors, and Jordan do the same thing, it would be insane. I love Justin Thomas. Think he's a great player, but he is not Jordan and he's not Rickie. Great player, doesn't draw the ratings that those two kids do. So make sure to like and subscribe to this video. Leave a comment. What do you think of my opinion on this? I would love to hear it. I'm sure you're going to think differently possibly than me, but when golf is at its best, who are the top people on that #1 spot that is drawing ratings? You know, Tiger, Phil at one time, Rory, just a teeny bit, but I'm talking American golfers. Jordan, when he was #1, through the roof. Dustin Johnson, a little bit. He wasn't a big-time needle mover, but even when like Bryson was in the field, Bryson would move the needle because he's so goofy that people love seeing a 350-yard drive. They love it. So let's get back together, PGA Tour, and hopefully Rickie and Jordan will see this and get some inspiration. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. God bless and go Kansas City Chiefs.